Good morning and welcome to Smashy Business. I'm Lubna Hamdan.
And I'm Richard Fitzgerald.
And today we're going to talk about Sam Altman, OpenAI's Sam Altman. He's in the UAE and he wants to turn it into an AI testing ground as he courts investors in the Middle East. And then Dubai brokers have 3 days to take down fake listings. And after that, Dubai's Shark Tank, is it tanking and compared to Bahrain's Biban? Richard.
Good morning, Lubna.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Very good, thanks.
Good?
Yeah.
Anything particularly interesting happened to you this morning?
Nothing major. What about you?
No, but I do see the espresso there.
Yeah.
Back on the coffee, back on the caffeine.
Yeah, coffee's good, isn't it? Like, you've got into my head. Coffee's just so good. Yeah, I'm having a few espressos lately. It's just so busy and, there's just so many different events on and things like that, and I'm struggling to keep up at the moment, tired-wise and sleep-wise, because I'm still training hard and everything.
Yeah.
So coffee is an aid. It's a little vice, but yeah, no, it's good.
I love that I've influenced you into drinking coffee. I'm gonna take credit for it.
Where's your coffee?
I had a really big cup of coffee this morning at home, but I will be getting some after
One
this.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah.
Lots of events going on. I almost can't believe how well Dubai is doing. We've had everyone from Tucker Carlson.
Shah Rukh Khan was speaking also at the World Government Summit. Yeah, there's just so many things happening.
So many people, so many things happening.
Do you know what I was reading about? I'm listening to a book at the moment about Abdel Gabel Nasser. The other way around. Nasser.
Jamal Abdel Nasser.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a section in the book that talks about Lebanon. And everyone talks about Lebanon in the 60s or whatever when President Shamroon was in charge. And there was a house, the guy who founded Al Hayat newspaper and Daily Star Lebanon, Murray. He was assassinated at his desk in 1960 as he was going through the newspapers, right?
I got chills just mentioning that.
They had a house, and his son still has the house. And the house is like, I don't know exactly, but like Brumana or the hills or somewhere outside Beirut. And they asked the son, like, who came over the years? And he mentioned three kings. You can still, when he meets and when he's met King Salman, he said, "Do you still have the swings?" Like literally, that's where they grew up. That's what Lebanon and Beirut was to them.
Yeah.
And like everyone from Sinatra and like all the famous American actors at the time. And I was thinking of this, in Beirut in the late 50s, did they appreciate what they had? Like, because, people slag off Dubai and I'm kind of going, hang on, like, these people are just dropping in. Like, these global celebs, like Kanye's just walking in the mall, like, Shah Rukh Khan's just hanging out. Like, and we're kind of going, oh, it's cool videos for loving Dubai, but like, there's a precedent for it. But the precedent was only 60 years ago in Beirut. Like there wasn't really a precedent for it since, right?
Yeah.
Like where did the stars go? And now they're all in Dubai. It's incredible.
And you know what? It's funny because we were talking about Ronaldo versus Maradona, for example. And you'll get my point. I know it seems really irrelevant, but Maradona had so much more talent than Ronaldo. Ronaldo has the discipline. When it comes to like Dubai versus Beirut, Beirut has the great weather and the great everything. The you know what I mean? It's naturally meant to really, succeed. But when it comes to Dubai, like it had nothing really, right? Like it was a desert. Like yes, there's oil money, but like that's mostly Abu Dhabi, right? It's not really Dubai. And look what they've done with nothing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It shows good leadership, and Tucker Carlson was talking a bit like that as well. But also, like I watched the video this morning of Hamad Al-Abar. It's in Arabic, and he was talking about like Europe, and he mentioned 5 great cities in Europe, and he said, Saudi is going to help because we have Dubai, we have Abu Dhabi, but Saudi is going to help. And he says like Beirut should have been if it wasn't for the turmoils. And I was listening to a podcast, really good history podcast called The Rest is History, and they have a second one called Empire. And they were doing like the last shot. It's a really good series around last 100 years in Iran. And then they followed it on with a 2-part series with an author called Kim Glattis. She's based in Beirut. Her mum's Dutch, and she wrote a Black Wave, a book that isn't available on some devices here. So she wrote this book, and then she 2-part series, and basically, the theme of the 2-part interview series is like it wasn't always this way, right? Like kind of the black wave is 1979 onwards, but like the whole theme is it wasn't always this way. And with the genocide that's happening at the moment, it's also, you know, the theme of their sentiment was it doesn't always have to be this way in the future as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, the Middle East was, you know, even Syria, you know, Syria did not import anything. It just exported everything. And look at it now. And you know, Iraq, like, look at them back in the day. It's incredible. I really do get chills when you start mentioning, you know, even the Shah of Iran and, you know, look at Iran back then and how it is today.
Yeah, I follow Love in Tehran. There's some cool foodie stuff happening. Love in Baghdad, I mean. Or sorry, Tehran.
Or both.
Both. Tehran's got a lot of, we have Love in Tehran. Yeah, we have Love in Tehran. With a guy he's actually managing it from Istanbul, but he's got cool snow stuff up there at the moment.
Oh, snow stuff,
People are
yeah,
skiing
very cool.
in
There's a good book called City of Lies, and it's about Tehran. It's very interesting. Now that we should start a book club. We should mention like one book at least at the end of every episode.
Yeah. Are you reading anything at the moment?
I am reading again a book called Deals That Made the World, and it talks about one of the really, I don't know if you've read it, but one of the interesting parts is talking about how during the recession, the 2009 recession, the crisis, sorry, talks about how the mafia, the mobs were basically the only liquid guys versus the banks, and how they're the ones that saved the banks. Like,
oh wow!
So it's really incredible. It's by a journalist actually. Anyways, shall we get to OpenAI's Sam Altman? He's the developer of ChatGPT, and he's in the UAE. He's been courting investors in the Middle East.
So he's not actually here, right? That could probably a mistake from the photo I shared. But so he spoke this week on
Zoom
video
at the World Government Summit.
And then a photo's going around with the deputy leader, Sheikh
with the finance minister. Yes.
Yeah. So, but the photo was actually taken in that majlis where he meets the techie guys.
Right. Okay.
That was taken. Last June, but you know it's really aesthetically because I've seen that set wherever they are. I think they're in one of Science's offices, but I've seen that photo taken a few times. Like Evan Spiegel is also in that same seat, and it's kind of reserved for the deputy ruler. It's reserved for the tech leaders when they meet. So that was kind of last June.
Right.
But he's been back. He's been in Hub 71 in Abu Dhabi since, and he's also spoken at the World Government Summit.
On via Zoom, yeah, because I was looking at that picture and wondering. So yeah, but my bad. But yeah, basically, he said he wants to turn the UAE into a hub for pragmatic regulation to show that the UAE is a serious player when it comes to AI, and the UAE is all up for it. So according to an interview in Bloomberg with the UAE's Minister of State for AI, Omar Al-Olama, he said that the UAE is going to be an AI testing ground. They're up for it. They're looking forward to it. And it's really exciting. I mean, everyone from the crypto guys to, you know, AI. I mean, from 2009, there were only 30,000 people working in AI-related industries. And now we've got over 120,000 people in the UAE.
The first Ministry of AI was set up in 2017 by the UAE.
And ahead of its time.
Right, yeah. And Sama as he is on X at Summit. So he actually said when he spoke in Abu Dhabi that, you know, while people are jumping on the trends, this country isn't jumping on a trend, it's just advancing its strategy from before.
Yeah.
And, you know, like talk about industrial revolutions or changes, right? If you invest in something, if you invest in automotive factories and things like that 100 years ago, like it pays off, right? So I think the UAE are looking at that. There's a whole...
It's a long-term vision, right? Not just cashing in on quick trends.
Yeah. There's a whole other subplots here. He needs to raise money, right? Like, even though they're worth 200 billion and they made... What was the stat? They made 2 billion. Yeah, they make 2 billion a year. And I'm kind of like, how can they make 2 billion a year, right? Like, Twitter have been around for 15 years or longer, 17, 18 years, and they only make 2-3 billion. I think they dropped below 2 billion last year. Snap make that. Like, but ChatGPT is just $20 a month. Like, what's the business around it? They obviously are getting bigger government contracts on data and whatever. Yeah. But like, they're already making a lot of money, and people think they're going to make 4 or 5 billion. He wants to raise 7.5 billion. He's coming to the Gulf deep pockets for it. So either he's being smart or he's kind of embracing leaderships in countries who are uh, who are the right type of partners to use my words carefully to trust and to who believe that regulation is needed in these areas and not to like cause the problems before, because this could get a bit sensitive, but like, why is the US the custodian for tech regulators? They've had their chance and they messed up with social media. They couldn't regulate it. So bye-bye now, US. We'll regulate it. We'll take over.
And you know what? Next up is media, I think. We talked about you know, those investments in the Telegraph and the Spectator. Hopefully that will happen by Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I mean, they messed that up, you know, just covering the genocide. I think they showed their true colors and, you know.
Yeah,
it's exciting stuff.
By the way, just on the coverage of the genocide, do you know what I've noticed? I don't know if you picked this up, but I've seen, like, I saw an article that Wired did recently, and you know the way the comments on what's happening in Gaza in the US are so kind of like, you kind of read them and you go, what are these people consuming, right? Yeah. But do you know what I thought the journalists were to blame and the media were to blame, and a lot of this part of the world thinks the media is to blame. But it reminded me of the weapons of mass destruction and
exactly.
But back then, and even back, even like Watergate and Vietnam, right? It's the American journalists, the ones with integrity. They actually know the truth.
Yeah.
And there's famous movies like Washington Post and Watergate. Like, there's lots of material done around that. Like. Yeah. What's the two guys' names? But the guys who brought down Nixon are basically journalists, right? Because they didn't want to be lied to by power.
Yeah.
And now they've been lied to again. And they were lied to at weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. And they're being lied to again now. But the journalists are actually, there's a really good journalist at Washington Post who's doing a lot of this stuff. And then Wired did something this week. And all the comments are kind of like negative and saying you're wrong. But the journalists who know the truth are actually documenting this, and I think that's important. Like, you kind of have to respect American journalists who are able to have courage to document these things.
Yeah.
And there is a really good movie about one of the newsrooms. I think it was the New York Times, around the time of Cheney and Bush and all those guys and Rumsfeld, and it's a similar vibe to the Nixon and the Watergate stuff.
You know what? It makes me think of Piers Morgan, right? Because it's funny you say courage, because it does, yes, it does take courage to do that. Because, you know, after what happened with him at the Mirror with that photo of the soldiers in Iraq, you know, they took him down, right? He just, you know, he kind of disappeared for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
He was doing little bits here and there. But I remember he had a book signing in Dubai and in a hotel a few years after that. And nobody showed up and nobody even knew who he was, you know? So it takes courage, and, you know, they can take you down. And I guess in Piers Morgan's case, maybe that's why he wasn't speaking up for Palestine, and he did, you know, give a platform, which you should do that anyways.
Yeah.
He did give a platform to a lot of Palestinians, but he was very kind of pro-Israeli, and do you condemn Hamas, and do you, you know. So yeah, it's interesting stuff. Anyway. Another really exciting event happening in Dubai is the STEP Conference 2024 in partnership with us, Smashy Business. It's the ultimate tech and startup festival. It's happening on February 21st and 22nd in Dubai Internet City. It's really, really cool. They've got over 8,000 attendees, 400 startups, and more than 250 speakers. It's really the premier event to explore the latest trends and innovations in tech. They've got engaging talks, workshops, and a lot of networking opportunities. I'm pretty sure I stalked Fadi Ghandour there one time. So great place for stalking people who you wish were were your mentors, but besides you, Richard. So industry leaders like Amjad Masad and Jenny Zhang are going to be there. Use our promo code MEDP-UPF for up to 20% off tickets. There's limited availability, so do try and secure yours.
Hyphen, for people listening, I think we put it on.
It's a hyphen. Yes, it is on Instagram. We put it up. It is a hyphen, yes.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to STEP. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Cool. Dubai brokers are always getting in trouble, aren't they? They're a pain to deal with. They've been putting up a lot of fake listings. You know, this happened to me, right? They've been putting up all these like fake. They're not really fake listings, right? You know, they do use deceptive photos. They've always done that. the place looks great on Property Finder or Bayut, whatever, then you actually go to the place and it's a total dump, right? But what they've been doing is putting up listings that are actually unavailable. 30 companies were actually fined last month by RERA. They fined each of them over $13,000. And now the Dubai Land Department has given brokers 3 days to take down all the fake listings. So the deadline, I believe, is today. Today is the final day for them to take down all these fake listings.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you, where you came across a listing that wasn't available?
I think, you know what, because there's been a number of different property companies, right, from the platforms to the real estate people that we've spoken to over the years. And this always comes up, but I think they date back to when RERA came into place, and, you know, the regulation that was put in place that allowed this amazing industry on real estate. Like you talked before, it was a desert, but like these are part of the things, and love them or hate them, but the real estate brokers drive this economy forward.
Right.
And this seems to be the last little bit of regulation that they just need to fix, because it's messy, it's a joke. And, you know, Saudi is just starting with their RERA thing. They don't really have it. They have the housing ministry, but like, you know, UAE has all this stuff set up, and it's got the tech platforms, it's got the brokers, it's got all the elements that you need. It's got the developers, it's got the master developers, the private developers, the independent developers, the plot line. It's got everything except this little thing. And why they do it, and I don't understand this brilliantly, but like, basically they need to hook you in. So if they're all commission, it's incentive alignment, right? Like if they're all incentivized to sell, then they need to get your number. And
but they've already got so much going for them. Do they really need these fake listings though?
The brokers, like a lot of brokers don't get a salary. A lot of brokers don't get a basic salary, right? So they hop over here on a flight and they're just told to sell, right?
Yeah.
And they need to hustle, right? So it's incentive alignment. They'll do what they can do within the rules. And up until now, this was in the rules. So they'll see a listing by a registered broker who has the relationship with the developer, and correct me if I'm wrong, and they'll see 10 photos up. They'll copy and paste those photos, shove them up with their contact details, and they'll get the phone call, and not that it's not available, it probably is available, but they just can't represent it because it's not their listing. So they'll sell you what they want to sell you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what they're regulating.
I mean, I respect the hustle, I do. It's just, it's such a waste of time, and it's really annoying, you know, especially when you see an apartment that you really, really like, and it's just like, I mean, it happened to me literally like 4 times in a row in the span of like 2 days or something.
It's probably, but I don't know, but it probably is listed. It's just that it's probably available, but they're putting up a fake one because they don't rep it, you know?
Right, I understand. And
then it might be gone and then whatever, but like, it's just, it reminds me, there was this really good economist, David McWilliams, he's Irish, and he's a really good podcast. And he told a story once of the English were in India. I don't know how my facts and details of this, but the English were in India, and there was a snake problem, right?
Okay.
And they wanted to get rid of all the snakes, so they told everyone who showed up with a dead snake, they give them 1,000 rupees. I don't know. They give them money, right?
Okay.
And what happened was,
I am starting to question the
legitimacy
of this.
Yeah, but
story.
do you know what happened? So no. Well, he's a credible economist. So I'm probably not doing it justice. But so they basically showed. So lots of people started showing up with dead snakes.
Yeah.
More snakes. So they started breeding snakes.
Wow.
Right? Because they get cash for killing snakes, right? So it's all about incentive alignment. I think what the regulators try to do is like, yes, they'll come in with this harsh statement of shut it down, but they'll put something better in place. And as I said, like the regulation here is pretty good. We're talking about Sam Altman and AI, and you know, why you have smart people like ministers of AI, why you have people in places like this is to understand the policies and look at the pros and cons. And yeah, like, you know, like any ministry here, sometimes there's criticism over regulation, but what they do is they change it quite quickly. They look at things, and I think, you know, realistically, right, like we might not like all the brokers and all these calls, right?
I think you're the only one in the UAE right now defending brokers.
I get harassed, like, and so does anyone who has a property right. I get completely harassed, like I get more completely ambushed, like WhatsApp, but I don't let it get to me because I just don't think we should let these things get to us, like, you know, but also, I also think it's a sign of a thriving economy right? Like, I think it's great that there's people out there hustling. And more power to them. Just stop bugging me, but yeah.
You are the voice of reason, Richard, honestly. You're the voice of reason. We're going to go to break in a couple of seconds. But I just want to say something interesting. Ali, are we on break already? We're not. Okay, so we're still live. So I was looking just about Richard being the voice of reason. I was looking into a story yesterday, and Richard said, "Lubna, you are not the law. You are not the police." So
I framed like looking into a story as Lubna's language for taking someone to the cleaners, but yeah.
Oh, you'll have to stay tuned for that, guys. But yeah, next up, speaking of taking someone to the cleaners, Dubai's Shark Tank, is it tanking? Up next, we have a special guest, part of Smashy Sports.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Okay, thanks, Lubna.
We're going to talk Shark Tank and Smashy Sports. Ronaldo, Maradona, Messi, we're going to talk all about that. But first of all, Ali, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
It's your first time here.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel special? Do you feel important?
I feel businessy.
Oh, okay. Love it. That's not even a word, and I love it. So, Ali, two Bahrain startups have secured funding. Over $300,000 in investment on the reality show Biban. Biban, which means doors. And the show is all about crowdfunding. And they have an app where viewers can actually invest in startups that appear on the show, even if they don't win.
Exactly.
It's super cool. We're going to talk about that versus Shark Tank in Dubai. It seems to be completely tanking. Do you watch Shark Tank Dubai?
No.
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does, guys, because it's nowhere. It's nowhere to be found. It's nowhere to be seen. No one's going to watch it on Dubai TV, right? But first of all, before we get to that, we've got some exciting insights about that stuff, interesting stuff. But first, let's talk about Biban.
Yes. It's a lovely show. Like, first time I saw it, it was by accident, actually. I was just surfing onto...
Shahid. It's on Shahid.
It's on Shahid.
Important point, guys. Yeah, we'll get to it. Okay.
And then
Ali just winked at me.
It sort of caught, something. It was something like special or different from Shark Tank or anything else.
How so? Tell me, because it's interesting that it's in Bahrain and it's doing really, really well.
The first thing is the name, Biban. It's Arabic. Firstly, you made it completely Khaliji.
Relevant.
Because Biban is only like you would only use it in Khalij, in terms of.
I didn't know what Biban meant. I had to ask you because for us we say Buab in Palestinian Arabic. We said Buab.
Biban.
Or Abuab in Fusha. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, that was the first thing. I'm like, interesting. Okay. And then I saw, okay. It's the similar format to Shark Tank, where you have your investors or businessmen sitting on these
judging panels, basically. Big chairs.
And there was a mixture from the mixture of male and female as well. Sometimes they would switch up and have a special guest on.
Right. Nice.
Famous people were on there as well. The influencer was there. He's also a businessman. He owns his own media company. His name is Ahmed Sharif. He was on the show.
Cool.
And also, I believe Umar Farouk is also an influencer. He's also involved.
Nice.
He's interested in that show as well.
So they've done it the right way.
Yes. They like in every step of the way they've managed to make each season better. So currently they're like three seasons. They've made it
successful.
Better. Yeah, successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And two Bahrain startups have secured funding. They are Right Calories, a food tech company, and Moto Lines, and automotive e-commerce. Now, in comparison, Shark Tank Dubai. Let's talk first about Shark Tank US. They've got Kevin O'Leary, they've got Mark Cuban. I mean, it's incredibly successful.
Yes.
Same thing with the other show, Dragon's Den. It's really successful
Yeah.
as well. Amir Mansi took it to Egypt, Shark Tank, and really, it's really successful in Egypt. He wanted to take it to Dubai. Dubai Media stepped in, did it through Dubai Inc. with Shweri Group, I believe. And the problem is not in the quality, right? Because I believe it's the same guy behind Dubai Bling, Mazen, Lebanese guy, really good, owns a production company. But the distribution is the issue, right? First of all, there are no English subtitles, so people, it's in Arabic. People can't watch in English. Okay, that's the first issue, right?
Is it named Shark Tank in Arabic, or did they just?
It's literally Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Yeah. It's literally Shark Tank in Arabic. It's on none of the platforms, not on Shahid, not on Netflix. It's, it's nowhere to be found except on Dubai TV. I mean, I don't even know what time it airs because am I really going to watch it on Dubai TV? What, like...
That is the one of the main problems with TV, broadcast. Like, we're going to the age of, like, we are in the age of, like, you are in the age of digital.
Exactly.
Everything is digital. Everything is online.
Yeah.
If it goes back to TV, then you have a problem.
I mean, what
problem.
were they thinking, right? What were they thinking?
Yeah, insane. Like, it should at least, like, I know Dubai TV is free. At least put it on YouTube. Their YouTube channel.
Exactly.
For example.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not even, you just have very short clips, like less than a minute or a minute maximum on YouTube. I mean, come on, guys. Like, it's a great show. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And also, can we talk about the judges on the show, right? We've got Faisal Jum'a Bilhol, a great founder and chairman of Ithmar Capital Partners. Great. We've got Eli Khouri, CEO and chairman at Vivium Holding. Also good, Then we've got Noor Suede, CEO at Global Ventures, Hamad, managing partner at Beko Capital, and then we've got Amira Sajwani. Why is Fadi Ghandour not on that show? Why is Mohammed Labad not on that show? I feel like, sometimes with Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, they've got different, they kind of have, and same with Beban, right? They've done it the right way.
Yeah.
I just feel like, we need to have a mixture. We need to have, bigger names there as well.
It's also personalities as well, like...
Absolutely.
Like, personalities click on the show. Like, Mark Cuban and you have Mr. Wonderful.
Exactly.
They click on the show.
Exactly. Whereas on this show, honestly...
No clicks.
No one be clicking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to me there, but... Oh dear. Anyways, I feel like had it been on Netflix, it just would have done so well. I mean, if you look at, again, if you look at Dubai Bling, and now we're going to have Love is Blind, Dubai Edition.
Dubai Edition.
I mean, those are, nice shows. It's nice to see Dubai on Netflix.
Yeah.
But they're silly, right? You don't really get any value. Let's be honest here. There is absolutely no value in watching Dubai Bling, Do you disagree?
For people that are within this region, yes. For people that live outside of this region, no. It's useful for them to see Dubai, and
True.
Dubai is marketed in a very beautiful way.
In that regard, absolutely, yes. But I mean, with the drama and all of that, it doesn't really give you any quality or value, right?
If there is no drama, it is not watchable.
Yeah. True.
There is drama, you watch.
So speaking of drama in sports,
yes.
Ali, what's the dish? What's going on in the world of sports, Smashy Sports? Tell us a little bit about the show, and then tell us what's been going on.
Okay. Do you want to be regional or international? Because there's a lot of news going on. Like, we can talk about what's going on in
the most exciting thing. Let's talk about the most exciting thing, and we can talk about Ronaldo a little bit. I know he's
my
your favorite. Your
yes,
idol.
He's my idol, and he is the greatest of all time, and I will say that each time. We can talk about. Let's go with Saudi League.
Okay. Because he went head to head with, what's his name?
Lionel Andres Messi.
The captain of the. Gosh, which team is it? Oh God.
Al Hilal.
You know, oh my God, I'm gonna sound like such a girl right now, but you know, there was a clip going viral on Twitter. He was trending yesterday on Twitter. This guy, his whole team kind of, you know, when the referee whistled, his whole team was objecting to it, and then
You mean
yeah.
against Fiha? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was trending
yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I'm not doing that badly for a girl.
You just did this, you know, to them. Like you just did this. You know. Hear me. Yeah. Come, I can hear you guys. Yeah. Basically, there's a lot of. The funny thing is that he's the biggest name in the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Biggest name in the world has such an influence across the globe, and in Saudi, some people have the audacity to chant Messi in front of Ronaldo. Okay, I know it's all fun and games, but
is it though? When it comes to football, is it all fun and games? It's very serious, isn't it?
Yes, it's very serious. But
for the
this man has single-handedly promoted the Saudi Arabian League, okay, and taken it to somewhere that nobody thought it would go. He's out there giving statements saying it's better than the French league, which is a top 5 league in the world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
For him to go out and say that, like
you have to have respect for that.
Yeah, you have to have respect for that. You know, unlike Messi, who declined the offer for Al Hilal and went to Inter Miami to enjoy the Miami beach over there and retire. You know. At the age of 35, thinking that the World Cup is enough for him.
Yeah, seriously. How dare he?
Yeah.
How dare he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's one thing. There are issues as well with the Saudi Arabian League as well, with the attendees being low. Even though you have big names like Cristiano, you have the
Why do you think that is? Why are people not going to watch the games?
There's a lot of there are a lot of factors that come into play in terms of ticket prices, the timings of the games.
So are the prices too high, you're saying?
For Asian games, yes. Like in terms, if you compare
do we know the ticket price?
It's like 150 Riyal Saudi.
Okay, how much is that in dollars? Let's
having
real quick.
too much outsiders such as Ronaldo, Neymar,
$40.
Will not affect the Saudi national team.
Our producer
okay, I'll get to that point.
This investment will not affect the Saudi national team.
Habib, we'll get to that point. I'm talking about the
can the viewers hear him?
Yeah, they just heard them, I believe so. If we heard them, they heard them.
Okay, great.
He's talking to our ear now instead of the speaker. So I was talking about the ticket price. I think it was around 150 Riyal Saudi.
Yeah, which is $40. Yes.
Yeah. So if a family or a group of friends are going, each person has to pay 150, and it's during a week. And it's also in Al Fiha, and it's not in Riyadh. It's in another location.
I mean, imagine putting that much investment and then not thinking about those things. Imagine getting Ronaldo and then not thinking about ticket prices and where the games are being held.
Yeah, but that's when the Asian Champions League happens. That's the price. But when with the Saudi League, it's much cheaper. And basically it does get full when big games and important games happen.
Right.
So for example, if Al Hilal and Al Nasr are in a semi-final or they're playing against each other, full. Ahli, Ittihad, you know, full.
Right.
But he brought up a question that interrupted my
thought process. Okay.
You know. About it affecting the national team, Saudi national team. Of course, 100%. It is both positive and negative. Firstly, it will be negative in the beginning, where there will be a huge difference in the quality of play and quality of players, and the difference between the Saudi and the international players, the superstars that come. But over time, the younger players will adapt to that style. That's the same thing that happened with the European leagues. You know, how did the Premier League evolve? How did La Liga evolve? How did
Right.
the French League evolve? If you look at the French League now, majority of them are not even French.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
they've come from all across the globe.
Yes.
You know, specifically either from the continent of Africa or Asia.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and they're playing at a high level over there, and they took it to top 5. You know, so Saudi is looking to do the same.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of it's a two sort of two-pointer, where
It's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
one, it's beneficial for the players and the future of Saudi football. Two, it's for tourism as well. People will see Saudi in a different light. If you bring football into play, football is the #1 sport and it's loved by majority of the people around the world.
Yeah.
So if you speak in terms of football, it attracts people.
Right.
Same thing with food.
Sure.
You know, food attracts people. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Saudi and the UAE are just making all the right moves.
Exactly.
Really, you know,
100%.
investing in sports, investing in media. I mean, now, you know, Sam Altman, you know, the World Government Summit, him saying that he wants to, you know, that he wants to turn the UAE into an AI testing ground.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just killing it this year.
Yeah.
The UAE and Saudi are killing it in all aspects. I've got a question for you. It's not business related.
Sure.
What is the most annoying thing that a non-football fan can do while a season is happening or you're watching a game? What is the most annoying thing?
If I'm watching a game, for example, of my favorite club.
Yeah.
Um,
Asking questions. Yelling Messi while Ronaldo is playing.
Well, that yes, but in terms of like me watching football, that's my sanctuary. Don't bother me. You know, if you come and ask me questions and talk to me while I'm laser focused into the game, you know,
Right.
I'm enjoying. That's my. You know, when you watch a movie,
Yeah.
there's a rule that you don't talk about, but it's there.
Yeah.
Where you have to stay silent.
Right.
Don't
Exactly.
talk during a movie.
I'm so glad that we agree on that, Ali, because so many people just don't seem to know the rules. Apparently.
No.
Apparently, it's really hard to stay quiet while watching a movie.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just getting riled up thinking about it. I can't imagine how you would feel about football. Watching
It's the
a
same
football
thing
game.
it's the same thing when it comes to football. It's the same thing. Like you lose focus. Next thing you know, there's a yellow card and you didn't
Disaster.
catch the replay because you're arguing with the person that's next to you. He's asking about the blue card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hisham is just playing like an ominous role,
Yeah.
you know, with this earpiece in our ears.
So
yeah.
this is
You must feel so much power, Hisham. Yeah.
So in terms of the blue card that was brought up by I think it was the Athletic, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Athletic. They got out the news that the international thing for referees, they decided that it wasn't enough to have just two colors. You know, that's already confusing for the referees that they don't know the difference between yellow and red. So they have. Do you know that there is a red card that's circular?
No, I did not know that.
Because sometimes the referee cannot tell the difference between the yellow and the red color. So there's a circular card that they pull out. And
Why can't they tell the difference?
I have no idea. No idea.
Maybe
Might be the tension of the match.
tension.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
tension
was
of the
thinking.
match. You know, he wants to get out the card quickly. That's why majority of the referees, they have the red card
In one pocket.
and yellow, so they
I was
know,
wondering.
so they know where the cards are.
Right.
But sometimes they put there's a circle there,
Okay.
a red circle.
Okay. And what is the blue card then?
So the blue card is a new card that they want to come into play, like they want to use. It's basically like timeout. You're out for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you ask me,
Yeah, is it a bad thing? Is that a bad thing?
it's horrible.
Okay.
Horrible. It is. I think this would destroy the entertainment of football.
Wow, you think, oh my gosh, this is like a top story of the day. Alibaba thinks blue card will destroy football.
Yeah, because it's a very thin line where it's a very thin line where you use a yellow and a blue card, because you give a yellow to a person who was like, okay, you've fouled multiple times, so I'm gonna give you a yellow just to give you a warning. Yeah. And there was malicious intent as well, like a little bit of malicious, but not very, like too much.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it's like pure malicious intent that you're going to tackle, that's all right.
Yeah.
But in terms of the blue card, it's a very thin line between like
Yellow.
I'm confused. What about the referee? That's already making mistakes by giving either yellow or red or going to VAR. There's a lot of things happening within the match.
I just hear Hisham like laughing in my ear, or I don't know if this is just how you breathe, Hisham.
I think that's how he breathes.
He's asking him, is it going to reduce the amount of red cards?
I don't think so. I think the moment that they get a blue card, then they'll get a red card.
I think we can talk about this forever, to be honest. But we are going, I think,
overtime.
But you know what? This is really exciting, Ali. We should have you on the show more often. Honestly.
Sure. If you want me to speak about football in terms of business terms, I'm fine.
You know, I did play football once for a very brief period of time. I did play for Man United.
You played for Man United?
Not Man United, the team. It was just
United.
It was the soccer school here.
Okay.
And it was really fun. I was the only girl. That was before the girls started joining the team. It was when it first opened years and years ago. But yeah, it's an interesting stuff. I really enjoy playing the game. I'm not going to pretend like I know so much about it, but I do enjoy watching football. So yeah, let's do this regularly, and we can also educate all the ladies out there who would like to enjoy football, perhaps with their significant other.
Yeah. No problem.
It's funny because a couple weeks ago I was watching. It was Arsenal versus who was it? Arsenal was playing against someone, I forgot who. Liverpool, yes, of course. And I texted my ex-boss and I said, "Oh, nice goal." And then I made several other comments, whatever. Stop laughing at me, Ali, for God's sake. Anyways, and then I made a couple of comments, right? And then he said, "Oh, you're clearly sitting with someone who knows their football." And then I sent him a picture of myself alone, and then I said, "Actually, that person is me." So.
Kudos.
You just wait and see. I will surprise you. Anyway, Richard is going to kill us because we've been talking about this.
Future football analyst.
Future Lubna Hamdan. Yep. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Watch us tomorrow. We're now available on YouTube for free. You don't have to sign up to the streaming platform, but do sign up to watch some Smashy Sports shows.
And you can catch me on UAE Sports Show every Thursday at 12 a.m. 12 p.m. 12 p.m.
12 a.m. Okay, and follow us on social media. And if you prefer audio, get us wherever you get your podcasts. Anghami, Spotify, Apple, you name it.